Thank you, Don. Our next presenter is Marc Harshman. His second full-length collection of poems, Believe What You Can, has just been published by the Vandalia Press of West Virginia University. His 4 chapbooks include Rose of Sharon, Mad River, M.A. Periodical publications include Georgia Review, whom we have represented down in the Boyden room, Emerson Review, Salamander, Poetry Salzburg Review, Gargoyle, and many others in the U.S. and abroad. His poems have been anthologized by Kent State University, the University of Iowa, University of Georgia, and the University of Arizona. His 13 children's books include The Storm, the Smithsonian Notable Book, and his newly released One Big Family. His 14th children's book, Falling Water, co-written with Anna Schmucker, about Frank Lloyd Wright's iconic house, is forthcoming from Roaring Brook Macmillan later this year. This spring he was invited to read from his recent work at the Greenwich Book Festival in London. His monthly show for the West Virginia Public Radio, The Poetry Break, began airing in January of 2016. He is the 7th Poet Laureate of West Virginia. Let's welcome Marc Harshman.
Stan. Thank you, Stan, very much. Thanks to the good folks here at Bridgewater College. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Don. I very much enjoyed your reading. It was pleasant to listen to. We're going to read just a couple of older poems to start. My introduction, especially if I'm places other than West Virginia, are as a kind of introduction to my state and my background as a boy on the farm long ago, is to remind everyone about what an art there is in the process of scavenging things, of salvaging, of making use of everything that's at hand. This first poem is a kind of story about just that sort of thing. A winter of sweets. Far below the hayfield, in a grove of post locusts, Jim Gorby, exploring an abandoned house that had stood below the old Miller place, was ready to believe in ghosts when Jerry Briggs, home from the war, stopped hammering on a sheet of tin he was hoping to salvage and revealed an infernal roaring deep within the old clapboards, as if 1,000 restless spirits were clamoring to be let out. And as his eyes adjusted to the lamplight, he witnessed a long wall pulsing and wavering with sound. The trembling there transferred itself quickly to Jim, who, white-faced, began easing himself from the room. But Jerry had heard of this before and knew, and a day later, in better light and cautiously with smoke, began unpeeling the century-old poplar siding, lath and mortar dusting the toes of his boots, and there, beneath the thumb of his crowbar, found a giant hive of clover and locust honey, a marvel to see, and, as he was like to say years later, promising a winter of sweets. So, you all know that moment, don't you? When you know you've been just a couple seconds too slow to know what's going on. You're in this dark cabin, deep in the woods, and suddenly there's this entire wall, and it's moving, and you hear this roar, and you think, 2 seconds too late, oh shit, these are millions of bees behind that wall, and I'm this close to them. I live in Wheeling, West Virginia, and if you live in Wheeling, West Virginia, you cannot, especially if you're going to write poems, not escape the presence of James Wright. It's a poem I wrote in his memory years ago, which I was happy to see collected in an anthology in his memory. A couple of the little details at the beginning of the poem are simply details about his home in Marks Ferry, Ohio, across the river from Wheeling. And something I've not seen in decades, but people tell me they still see it at places like Myrtle Beach in the summertime. That is old propeller airplanes carrying signage behind them. Some of you are old enough to know what I'm talking about. You know, buy such and so or vote for such and so. And one other note about James Wright. He had an especial fascination with the men, and it would have been men in his generation who had to go into the river in their wetsuits and bring out the dead, the dying, the murders, the suicides. Diving for the drowned. Off the river and up the hill into Ferry, my first time beyond the 4-lane to downtown. Brick, glass, the 5 Roses, deluxe novelty, Dutch Henry's, the turreted bank, the strung stoplight centering town, and overhead, an airplane trailing its letters, Bob Sumner, county clerk. A good day to advertise, a dark, shingled sky, only here and there lit white with the race clouds of a cold front. A good background for words, the letters only occasionally tipping out of sight. A good background, the valley direct and unmistakably Appalachian. The crowded squeeze of houses between hill and river, between factory and rock, coal and smoke. The kind of place you want to leave and somehow never do. Small towns like this hold on forever. Their close blanket of sweat, their tight rooms of cigarettes and cold where you fight to sleep, their everybody knows you, faces flashing everywhere you turn on the brick rumpled streets. But there were heroes, ones who knew something, who knew the underriver and found the lost. The rivers stink a pale skin of rot upon them. The ones who came back living, rising with stories from that dive into the green, silver, and silent current, who had reached into that liquid night and rose, having touched death with life, yet having brought no answers, but the persistent one that lives with the telling, the return of words that keep us close, next to each other. A couple of slightly more recent poems. It's a poem recalling my childhood in Indiana, my mother's mother, my grandmother Balloon. It's called Grandmother at the Dressmaker's. A bolt of heavy cobalt gabardine shot with silver and scarlet threads lay across the cutting table. It was July. The overhead fan threw slow shadows on the patterned tin ceiling. The neckline of Grandma's cotton house dress had grown dark with sweat. The street outside Mulberry was empty. It was that hot. Grandma, however, made lists and did not move from them. A few minutes, that's all. I didn't chafe too much at the familiar words heard in grocery at the neighbor's fence, though always my hand was tugging at her sleeve. Bored, yes, but content enough, able to wait for the promises, lemonade, ice cream, cookies. It was to be an elbow's length longer than the yardstick. There was tracing paper, thimbles, tweezers, bodkins, and pinking shears with their intriguing teeth. I took it all in, bothering and circling the women with questions, anxious to know as much here as I did in the barnyard with Father. It was not poetry, not yet, but it was life as I knew it, and I was keen to know it more, to keep gathering as I did berries and stamps and pebbles, to see what rarities might show up, sparkle and speak, muscled cloth, scissor slash, and how precision might be wedded to beauty, to be the kind of gatherer who would not starve, even if my clothes grow thin and I can't find much to say for myself, other than I am still here, tugging at her sleeve. This poem is titled Vehicular. You can supply the other word. I don't often work quite so closely to the bone as I did this one with the family's common bone, common cousin. vehicular. You come around a curve, the blind crest of a hill, and suddenly there are these two lives waiting for you, comedic and tragic together, waiting for you who are to be an instrument from the ancient Greek stage, you who are to be as innocent as we ever are with chance and the bad luck of being human. You see a cobalt blue duster jacked up in the near middle of the road. You see two statues that could be people. You even see the Holsteins in the distance, the white barns, the last light of day, the curious moment within which this new story has to begin. The seconds divide themselves slowly at first, offering time its true nature. The drunk boyfriend's cell to his ears continues to stand, back to the action. The girl straightens her shoulders, and then, wide-eyed, slow-mo, she runs the wrong way, on the wrong side of the wrong road on that wrong day. The duster was a solid. The girl was a blur of time frozen. The boy was peripheral. You were driving the company's pickup, a Chevy S10. You were thinking things through, being careful and human, being as good as the unlucky innocent ever can be when the seconds began accelerating and you were dropped into instinct and swerved to avoid a collision with that blue Plymouth, swerved into time, that blur, that little motion, that fleeting last second of a life, the blood and bone of it, and it was only a small sort of bump. Quiet, and was behind you as quickly as it had been before you, behind you where the new seconds began, without any screaming to tick the silence forward into your own time and place that gathers around you now at night, alone, without anything so solid as steel and bone, as even the slender words in the town obituary that would carry her name, without anything to anchor you but this moment that refuses to move beyond that glance back over your shoulder where the living die, without your impatient wish to be perfectly forgiven. Even this, your almost